In a previous video, I explained the key factors to consider when migrating away from Bubble to Code, how to think about it strategically, what to evaluate, and when it makes sense. In this video, we're going to get hands-on. What are the first steps I take when starting a new migration project? Now, here's what most people get wrong. A lot of people think the starting point is to jump into Lovable or Replit or Bolt and start building the features. Let me recreate my app screen by screen. That is not the starting point. The actual starting point is your data, your authentication, your users, and your relationships. Now we're talking about a production system which is actively being used, built in Bubble, being migrated over to Next.js. Think about it. If you build all your features first, then figure out the data migration afterwards, that's going to cause unnecessary pain and frustration. You'll be retrofitting, patching, and working around problems you created for yourself. So the approach I recommend and what I'm going to walk you through today is data first, features second. Now, a quick note about the tech stack. I do not recommend Lovable or Replit or Bolt, particularly for migration projects from Bubble. The tech stack I recommend is Next.js and Supabase. I've got a complete separate video explaining why. I'll link it in the description below. But the short version is Next.js gives you a proper React framework with server-side capabilities. The backend workflows you want, you can't easily do it in Lovable. Yeah, there are Supabase edge functions or not, but not really. With Next.js, you get server actions and API routes, makes it way more of a robust framework for migrating your app over. Supabase gives you Postgres, authentication, row-level security, storage buckets out of the box. These two together are the closest thing to Bubble's full stack model, but with real code you own and control and can deploy on your infrastructure. I'm going to walk you the environment. We're going to connect an MCP server to the Bubble database. We're going to connect an MCP server to Supabase. We're going to design and create the Supabase schema, write some migration scripts, run the migration, and then by the end of this video, you'll have your users, your data, and your relationships all migrated over. That's your foundation. Then you start building features on top of that foundation. So I've set up a sample app using Bubble's AI app generator, a simple Y-gig job board. All right. On the Bubble side, there's users with a role option set, user and admin. There's gigs. Those are the two key tables and the key relationships. For some reason, it created a user profile separate, which is okay as well, not bad or anything. It didn't apply the privacy rules to our job board, by the way. And the option set I had to manually add in the user part. But generally speaking, it should give you enough of a gist. There are definitely a lot of pages like the owner dashboard, the admin gig, settings, submit gig, but I'm not going to worry about that. My worry for this video is the foundation database, the schema going over to my Supabase instance, and the data going from here. This could be 100,000 records, okay? Not 4. And data going from here to Supabase. Now let's connect the MCP. So the environment, we're going to be using Claude Code for this. You can use other AI agents like Cursor, VS Code. I find Claude Code to be the best one. I've already got it installed and set up. The folder I have is just a simple git migrate folder, and I'm using Code Insiders as my IDE for now. Now we're going to connect this Bubble MCP server to our app. All right. So what are the steps? I'm going to quickly walk through these ones. Let's run this here. A side note, I've got a separate video on the development environment setup. I tend to prefer using Windows subsystem for Linux, not Windows directly. All right. So I'm inside Bash here. Now we've cloned the Bubble MCP server. We're inside the folder here. We need to run npm install. And that should be enough. I know there are other steps, but Claude will guide us through about the next steps easily. So npm install. All right. So this part's done. All right. I'm just going to make a nice clean new folder for my YouTube. I've already done this to prepare for the tutorial, but I'm just going to make another one, YouTube, and we're going to go inside YouTube. All right. So we need the mcp.json. When I start Claude, it relies on a file called mcp.json. This is the format of the file. All right. Now you can follow these steps here and watch this video to understand, but each environment, each AI, each coding agent is different. I gave Claude access to the folder, and I gave Claude access to the documentation and asked it to generate and write all of this itself. One thing it found is that the documentation has a bit of a bug. The documentation recommends using Bubble base URL here, but its actual code uses Bubble API URL. Let me just copy this mcp.json over to my new folder here. .mcp.json, copy here. All right. So now when I run Claude here, I've got some other MCP servers. I'm just going to disable them for now and just leave the Bubble one. All right. You can check the MCP from /mcp command. It's connected. Let me just ask get schema. It's going to make a tool call and get the entire schema from the app. Yeah. So we've got the gigs type, the user type. We've got a role, which is an option set. Now this AI agent has the entire Bubble schema here. There's one other thing that I had to do on Bubble side is to make sure to go into the settings part, into the API side, and enable all of these options. Enable the data API and enable all the tables I wanted access to. I generated the token here. That's the token that you see on this side. So if I open my mcp.json, so this token, this API URL is my Bubble apps base URL. For testing, make sure to pass version test. I spent about 10 minutes figuring this part out, but that should be enough. So now our Claude AI agent is connected to the Bubble app via MCP. It can get the schema and it can get the data as well. The next part is to connect a Supabase instance here as well. Quick side note, if you're finding all of this overwhelming, me and my team have done this quite a few times now and we're very familiar with the process. Link in the description below to book a call. Back to the video. If you have no idea about Supabase, I've got a separate video about Supabase 101 for Bubble developers. It's also on the channel. But this particular Supabase instance has no table at the moment. Supabase has its own documentation on how to connect an MCP server. I've selected Claude Code. Again, you can select whichever coding agent you have. I think Claude Code's the best one with Opus 4.5. The project ID is this one. Okay. And it gives me the exact command here already. And this is how I need to install it. So I gave it to Claude Code and ask it to just set it up, and it just set it up here. All right. So if I go to /mcp, I only have the Bubble one connected because we disabled that one, the previous one. We disabled Supabase when we were starting it. So let me just go MCP enable Supabase. Let me just exit it. Okay. Claude resume /mcp. So when I had previously disabled the Supabase schema, the Supabase MCP server, it had added a line here. So I just removed that disabled MCP server from here, but it should be able to connect now. Yeah, so the Supabase one is connected. In the beginning, mine's already authenticated, but the first time you initialize it, it's gonna try and ask you to open a browser window and go through an authentication pattern. So this is what that looks like. Now our AI agent Claude is connected via MCP to Bubble and to Supabase. Okay, I can ask it, get Supabase schema, and it will say the Supabase instance is blank. Then I tell it I need to migrate from Bubble to Supabase. What do I need to do? Now there are a few gotchas here. Okay, you can't just map option sets as is. They come over as static data tables. Bubble's privacy rules are current user role. A very common pattern would be to just place them in the user here, current user role, or maybe current user list of privileges, current user, some mapping, some other thing here, because the privacy rule will link with current user. The way Supabase works with its auth table, so Supabase has an equivalent of the user table, which is the authentication table, okay? But we can't randomly add fields to the authentication table, okay? We have to add another table in our database, more like a profile table or a user role schema table. So there are a few gotchas here with respect to privacy rules, but that's probably a separate video, or I think I covered that in the Supabase 101 as well. So I'm just going to continue with the core migration effort. Let me just bring two tables, okay? In fact, for this particular video, once you see the pattern, you can repeat it easily, okay? So we're going to bring our authentication users over. we're going to bring our role option set over, and we're going to bring our gigs over, okay? Once those three come and you see the loop, you can repeat it for like 100 tables if you want. It's the same pattern for to lay the foundations, okay? So let me just voice to text. I'd like to bring 3 tables from Bubble into Supabase. The option set for the role, I'd like that as a separate table in my Supabase instance with user and admin as 2 rows and entries. I'd like to then bring the user profile table here, which has the name and other fields. Then I'd like to bring the gigs table. Okay, so now it's got access to this schema already. Now it's got access to Supabase. It's gonna apply migrations. Now I'll be honest, the better thing to do is to look at the migrations before you apply them, add the migrations to a separate branch, then apply it to main staging server or work with a local Supabase instance before the production instance. But for the purposes of the video, I'm not following as such best practice here, okay? I'm applying migrations directly to my branch or for YouTube. This is YouTube, not production. You can't just randomly, without looking at it, and wipe code the things. But this is a simple use case. So it's gonna go over, if I start seeing, schema. So the user profile tables here, the role table here, the auth is linked with the user ID. And then the next table is coming over. User profiles here. Gig is here. Gig is linked with auth users. That's like, auth user is the equivalent of like current user. So it has disabled privacy rules on all of this. Again, in production, not recommended. Topic of separate video. For now, I just wanted to show the pathway of how this works. The next step is I'm going to ask it to write scripts. Okay. So I need you to write Node.js scripts, which will query the Bubble Data API and populate our auth users table with the right role, and then populate the gigs table with the right gigs linked with the right users. Now, what it's doing is basically writing scripts which will read the Bubble Data API and then write to the Supabase instance. That, in a nutshell, is your migration foundation. So there's 2 parts to the migration, or 3 parts to the migration foundation. Bringing your authentication users over, bringing your schema over, and bringing all the data over. Okay. We laid the foundation of the schema, and now we're writing the scripts, which we will run in production. First, we want to test everything here, but we will run all of these in production, which will then basically fetch everything from Bubble and push everything to Supabase. Okay. And the scripts have to run in a specific order. So you can't run the gigs one first and then the user one. You have to run the parent one. Usually the user is the parent type, and then every child afterwards in sequence gets run. And the scripts rely on, so we have Bubble's API key here. Okay. The Supabase equivalent of the API key is the service role key. So if you go to project settings, API keys, this one, which is the service role key, that key gives super admin access to the entire instance. So our agent has done, it's created the script files. It needs the service role key and the anon key. We're gonna just give it the environment example. Let me just give it here. Again, not best practice to give keys here, by the way. But I'm recording a YouTube video, so I can be a bit more relaxed about it. That is the service role key. And here are the rest. Okay. So I would like it to run the whole code itself. While this run, it's relatively like straightforward. Again, it'll have the API, the Supabase area, fetch Bubble data, and then fetch users, fetch profiles, map. The mapping, when we run a migration project, we actually map all the things one by one. And then it creates the authenticated users. Here it's done a very bad, strange thing. It's given everybody a temp password 123. But we're going to be sending a password reset request to everyone, or we recommend swapping out the authentication mechanism. The authentication mechanism in Bubble can be username, password, Google, OAuth, whatever. The one we recommend for migration projects is to switch to a OTP-based system where they get an email, a magic code, 6-digit, just type that in and log in. That way you can migrate users easily without causing huge disruption. Let's say you send 20,000 password reset requests, users didn't do it. What happens the next time they come? Then you need to build a flow to send them a password request, and not fun. Just switch to OTP for the migration, and then you can add OAuth in Google afterwards as well. Yeah, so it's installing dependencies stuck in one place. Oh, the Bubble API key. It had the MCP.json. Let me read it. Data. No, don't mess it up. Okay. This is the Bubble API. This is the Bubble API key. Trying to catch an AI agent in the middle of a mistake is a huge skill nowadays. You have to be a bit clear. So no, don't run bash directly. Use the Node.js scripts. I don't know why it's trying to mess it up and try and run bash directly. Oh, let me just do it myself. So, yeah, write the environment file. Oh, my bad. Actually, I think it was prepping the environment variable and then it was like running the scripts itself. Anyways, I think it should be good to go now to run this directly in a new terminal. I've taken a quick look at the scripts and what it has done. So we're just going to go into the YouTube folder. We're going to go into the scripts folder, and then we're going to go npm run migrate users. Fetching users from Bubble, fetching 4, found profiles, and it's going to create the Bubble and it's going to create the user ID mapping JSON as well. Okay. Migration complete. If we switch to our Supabase instance and take a look at our authentication, it should have, what happened here? Let me refresh the page. Oh, failed to create database error. Okay. Sorry, my bad. So it's just gonna let AI fix this thing. Run the scripts, please. It's gonna figure out, using MCP, it's gonna figure out what error it got and how, get the logs and check what error happened, and it probably made a mistake while writing the scripts. Usually it just make a first name, last name mapping. Yeah, instead of profiles, made user profiles. These types of like mistakes it makes. Again, this vibe coding is something I don't trust. I'm recording a YouTube video, so I'm just letting it run as is without reading everything as what it's doing. But generally, especially when it comes to the schema, the migrations files, the privacy policies, RLS rules, have to look at everything and work in a very staging environment, polish everything, make sure tidy up, raise a pull request, and then merge ahead. This is one of the reasons why I'm not 100% convinced something that like Lovable can easily be completely, like for large complicated production projects, I'm not going to run gigs for now. We're going to check our authentication users came over through nicely. Yep, all 4 users have come over nicely. Now we're gonna let it run the gig migration one. And it has actually migrated all the users, and now it's verifying the data has come through easily. Okay, so if we go to our table editor and go to gigs, all the data from Bubble in gigs is present in our Supabase instance, linked with the right owner ID as well. Okay. Now, there's a lot of work to be done. All the RLS policies and privacy rules are broken. It's not really done properly. But what did we start with? We started with no Supabase schema, no connection, no database migration. What did I want to show in this video? I wanted to show the path to migrate from lay the foundation first, which is the schema, lay the privacy rules as well. I skipped that, didn't do that here. Then run the migration data scripts, or start working on the scripts, or start thinking about the scripts and the mapping from day one. Now the time has come to, okay, let's start building features. I recommend Next.js plus Supabase, and there's a boilerplate to start with. But generally speaking, I hope this helps give you a rough idea of what the flow is when migrating a production app with users from Bubble to a coded stack. If you've got any questions or parts that you want a bit more of an in-depth video on, just drop a comment below. Subscribe to the channel for more videos like this, and thank you very much. I'll see you in the next one. Thanks. Bye.